Thanks to everyone joining in. Before we get started this morning, I'd like to just briefly introduce the Manufacturing Safety Alliance of BC, the not-for-profit health and safety association for manufacturers and food processors across our province. And also invite you to call us for confidential help with your COVID response or your safety program. Please visit us on our website for safety resources and training at any time. Working from home, as many of us still are, you're probably challenged to find a quiet space to work. You might have trouble finding the right furniture to work comfortably. Some of us are finding our makeshift workspace setups to be a bit of a pain in the neck, maybe literally. So today we're going to learn some strategies and adjustments we can make in our home workspaces to help us feel better and get more done. Our presenter today is Ira Podar, our ergonomist at the Alliance. Ira has worked in multiple industries, universities, and government, and with a PhD in industrial ergonomics, she was a scholar of the Indian Council of Medical Research. Ira holds an international general certification in occupational safety and health, and she previously worked with Human Scale in New Jersey and ran an ergonomics consultancy in Dubai. She's a frequent presenter on ergonomics and human factors and has published multiple papers and books. And we're excited to have her here today. Welcome, Ira.
Thank you, Jennifer. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us today this morning. So we'll be talking through what would be the strategy for us who are suddenly confined inside home. This COVID-19 scenario have completely changed our situation, our work methods and our culture, and probably it will be doing so for quite a long time. Now, regularly social distancing or physical distancing, these terms are everyday life, and it will be a new normal from now onward. And experts say till the time we get a vaccine, this could be the way of our new normal. Even companies are talking about work from home as their strategy, and they are looking into new way of working because they are also focusing into saving quite a bit of quite big amount of money in retail renting. So here we are, and we are working from home. We don't have proper setup most of the time, so there's a rising need to understand safe ergonomic practices while working from home. A little bit of background here. We are kind of aware that back pain and other musculoskeletal discomforts or disorders, which is popularly known here as musculoskeletal injuries, are one of the significant risk factors with computer work. And especially when we do not have an access to suitable ergonomic equipment, it's even more prevalent. And during this time, there is already rising of musculoskeletal injuries throughout Canada from different provinces. It has been reported that people are facing more pain and ache and more than usual. So definitely it's right time to have understand how we can set up our home properly with a few ergonomics considerations. Now, working from home as we become a new normal, WorkSafe BC also have laid their guideline while working from home. It remains similar to the regular workstation, but adding a few tweaks here and there. So the reporting of workplace injuries remains similar. Maybe the reporting strategies could be changed, and requirements for education and training is also there. So it's even today the workers' duty to follow safe work procedures remains the same. They also included that ergonomic assessment should be done for the workstations or workplaces where we're working from, and various control measures have to be implemented. So it's important to know and understand how we do it. As we all know, there are various challenges while working from home, as you see in this situation. And whoever is already used to it, maybe they kind of figure out a way around this. But some of us who are suddenly feel ourselves confined inside home, working from home could be a little bit challenging. They are so full of distraction, and also a place where we are so accustomed to, and so usually we do wind out and we do kind of relax, and how you focus into that situation. So it's even more important to understand how you can set up your workstation ergonomically so that you can be focused while you are working, as well as you are adopting a neutral posture, well supported one, and more ergonomically correct one. So to understand that, anyone can ask, what is ergonomics? It's a general question, it can come. I am not going into details of it, just a brief background. This is a scientific discipline which has a multidisciplinary aspects of it. It has been taken from two Greek words. One is ergon, another one is nomos. Erg is the unit of work, nomos means the knowledge. So the subject focuses into improving systems and process. So when you hear about ergonomics, it's not about just posture or back pain. It's not about even stretching or a chair. So it has a little more in-depth implication throughout our life. So now, if we consider our home, we always relate ergonomics to offices, how you improve your workstation setup, how you incorporate your work desk complex more appropriately, or how you improve the industrial setup and analyze the job, implement ergonomic and engineering changes to improve productivity. Now the question is how you imply the same things in a home situation. Actually, all these ergonomics principles and practices can also be applied in our home environment. In simple terms, ergonomics is about improving comfort, health, and productivity with thoughtful workplace design, which matches people's capability. It is done by reducing mismatch between human and product. The question is how you apply that at your home. If you have a designated office space, it's perfect. If you do not have, don't worry. You can you can do certain simple changes and you can make it into a temporary office. So if you apply the definition of ergonomics to our home environment, it means you have to understand how the best possible ways you can adjust your posture. You can adopt a neutral posture in a well-supported manner throughout the day while you're changing your posture. So there is here I'm going to share a few best practices and improvement ideas to help you with your ergonomics at home. To understand the best practices, you have to refer to this picture. This is some best practices which you follow anywhere. It could be in office, it could be at your home. Just consider your chair. While you sit on your chair, your back has to be well supported, while your feet should be relaxed and on the ground. Your thighs should be parallel to the ground. While doing so, just you have to be sure there's a space between the chair sit and your back of the knee. And also your shoulders should be relaxed, your elbows should be side of your body, and your head should be balanced, not tilted. If your shoulders are slouched upwards, that means your workstation height is high. So you have to raise your chair up. And in that case, if your feet are not well supported, you have to use something underneath. So your monitor screen has to be minimum arm's length away and sitting in front of you, which is centrally aligned to your body. If your head or neck has to be tilted, that means you have to change your monitor setup. So these are the basic few things you have to understand before you apply that understanding to your home setup. So I will go through your simple tips so that you can apply them at home situations, and it will help you to understand how you set up your home offices or anywhere where you are working from. So let's see this tips. First, Steve, talk about space. One of the biggest challenges people face working from home is finding a space that's free from distractions and comfortable enough to concentrate in. You may need to spend some time rearranging your home to get this right. Consider clearing unused corners and spare rooms to create a temporary office. Just having your own space will immediately help you to focus and get into work mode. So set up your workstation on a hard and flat surface like desk and table. Avoid working from bed or couch if possible. Tip number 2 is equipment. Do you have an external monitor? Use it. If you don't worry. Televisions with HDMI or VGA or other connection ports can be used as a monitor in a pinch. Stack your monitor or laptop on books, boxes, or even a separate bookshelf to avoid bending your neck for a prolonged period of time. You will need an external mouse and keyboard if you try this. Clear up clutter so there is enough room directly in front of you for your monitor and input devices. Your elbows should hang naturally beside your ribcage with your shoulders relaxed. Mice, keyboard, trackpad, reference documents, notepads, or any input devices should be close to you or directly in front of you, and you should not require lifting your arms to access. If you find your shoulders hunched forward or shrugging upward, as I said earlier, that means you may need to make some adjustments. And if there is a space between your elbows and sides, if you find that, then also you have to make some adjustments. It takes us to tip number 3. Strive for optimal posture. If you do not have access to so-called ergonomic equipment, you can improvise anytime. The key is to maintain neutral, well-supported posture while changing frequently. To be able to achieve that, you can use a cushion or pillow to support your lumbar spine if your chair doesn't support your back effectively. Your work surface should be at your belly button height. Use boxes to support your feet if you have to raise your chair to match the height of the work surface. If your work table is too high, consider moving your input devices lower. Adjust your seat so that your elbow and input devices are at the same height. For example, place the keyboard and mouse on a board on your lap. If working with your laptop on your knees, add a pillow or a box underneath the laptop to raise it slightly. We do not recommend working in this posture for prolonged periods. Remember, if your chair has armrests, you do not have to use it constantly. Use them if they prop. You do not have to use them if they prop your elbows away from your body. Add pillows to your seat and back to increase comfort and encourage use of the seat back. Above all, keep changing your posture. No position is best unless you change it regularly. Most MSIs happen due to static posture and repetition. Tip number 4 is movement. Variety is the key. At least once every 2 hours, try working on a different surface in your home. You may be surprised at what works. You will be amazed to know that you can build your own standing workstation. Find a flat surface, ideally taller, such as the kitchen counter, a bookshelf, or even the laundry machine, and use it to stack your monitor or laptop on some boxes until it's about your eye level. Make sure you have an external mouse and keyboard. Clear enough space at elbow height for your input devices. Rotate between standing and seating frequently, standing for only half an hour at a time. Use the 20-20-20 rule to give your eyes a break from the screen. Every 20 minutes, look 20 feet away for 20 seconds. Studies show that micro breaks improve productivity. Use micro breaks for simple stretching. Going for a walk in the morning or running is well and good, but if you spend the rest of the day hunched over your laptop, so Every 20 minutes or more, stand up, shake your body out, take a few shoulders and neck rolls, and take a brisk walk, even if it's just to the kitchen for a cup of tea. Here are some stretching examples you can see. You can do it either sitting or standing, but we'll recommend you do it while standing. So it will help you to change the posture and have some extra blood circulation around your body. Next tip is about routine. It can be really tricky to keep a good work-life balance while working from home, where there are lines are really blurry. You need to be disciplined and follow a regular schedule. Dress up for work. It helps you to carry yourself and put you in a work mode right away. Make sure that anyone you share your home with understand that just because you are at home, you are not available for an impromptu chat or any household chores. That doesn't mean that you have to be antisocial all the time. So set out blocks of time for uninterrupted work and then take breaks with your loved ones. So this way you could be both enjoying your home as well as be productive. Next tip is connection. If you're used to working from home, you may understood the way to work around it. But if you're not used to home working, this sudden isolation can be daunting. Don't be afraid to take advantage of IT systems and network to stay in touch with your colleagues. It's important to try to keep up socializing, even if it is virtual. You don't always have to talk about work. Sometimes the best ideas come to us in informal, entirely unrelated chats. Now, there are some additional tips. Move to the couch if you are reading a reference book or documents. Taking a phone call? Let's try walk while talk. At home, it may be tempting to keep visiting the fridge for snacks. With immediate access to food and no colleagues around to hold you accountable, it's a slippery slope to feeling unhealthy. Try to avoid overeating sugary, fatty snacks. Stock up on healthy foods like nuts, seeds, so that you always have a better option available. Keeping your body healthy will help you stay focused during these unsettling times. Find what works for you best to stay calm and focused. We all respond differently to changes and stresses. It's important that you consider how you are reacting to the necessity of home working. Are you feeling lonely? Are you feeling anxious? Coping strategies are different for everyone. You could try a guided meditation, or you could join online groups who are facing problem like you, who have, suppose you have kids and having the similar challenges at home. You can try yoga or get in touch with your creative side to find an outlet. Don't take on more than you can manage. During this strange and challenging time, it may be tempting to take on more work than usual. Remember that the most important thing at the moment is your health and well-being. Don't run yourself down. You can only take on so much. Take each moment as it comes and focus on simply doing what you are able to do. Most importantly, switch off after hours. Keeping a good work-life balance is utmost important. How do you know when to switch off? With home working, the lines may get blurry, but be strict and maintain that time when you are used to switch off after office. And try disconnecting your work email for your personal phone. If you follow these few simple ergo tips, you can be more productive and avoid back pain and injury while working from home. For more information, please visit our Alliance website. We have free resources available to download, like ergonomic at home field guide, self-assessment checklist, printable posters. We also offer virtual ergonomics assessments for our members, and our OHS support line is 604-795-9595. And you can also access various resources on WorkSafe BC website. So that's all we have this morning. We will be answering your questions now.
Thank you so much for sharing those tips, Ira. I know that everybody's workspace at home is a little different, so I really encourage you to take this opportunity to submit your questions through the chat window while we have Ira here about your particular workplace setup. Or if you work with one of our member companies, contact our office directly and set up a personal consultation. Ira, to start the Q&A, our first question is from someone who doesn't have an external keyboard, but wants to know what's the best way to set up using my laptop keyboard.
Yeah, so at times what happens, we keep carrying our laptop from work, and we work on the laptop without using a keyboard. So in this situation, we would suggest you not to work long at the same posture. So keep changing. If you do not have a proper setup, especially external keyboard and mouse, then it's even more important to change. So while we work, maybe at least every 20 minutes or even possible frequently, change your posture so that you have relaxed shoulders and more circulation going around you. Yeah.
Sounds good. Another one, actually, someone who says, I don't have a spare room to properly set up an office, so I don't have a choice. I have to work sitting on the couch. What do I do?
Yeah, that's there are many cases like that. So it will be the same. Try to kind of clear up areas where you have less clutters. If you're on couch, especially, then you have to use your, as I mentioned earlier, you can use your kitchen top as your standing work desk. So keep changing from couch to your kitchen top or any bookshelf. You can use that way as your standing desk. So keep changing between these two surfaces so that you don't have to sit longer on your couch. What happens when we sit longer on the couch? Couch is a very soft, and you can go kind of sink in that situation. So it may affect your lower back, and you may get extra stress on your buttock muscles and lower back. So that's the reason it's important that you change frequently if you have to do work that way. Or if you're using a laptop sitting on the couch, try using some flat pillows underneath to raise your laptop a little bit up. So it will help you to have a little better posture than only sitting inside that couch. Yeah.
Good. Thank you. So this question actually, stepping away from the home office, from one of our manufacturing companies attending, wanting to know what is the leading way to prevent back injuries in a manufacturing setting? A couple of related questions about back pain.
Yes, so that is one of our prevalent reported injuries throughout industry. That this is a complex question. We cannot answer it right away, but most reasons on because of the back pain is repetition and static posture. So in manufacturing industry setup, whatever from our experience, we have seen people are working in the same posture for pretty long time. They generally don't take frequent breaks. At times, they are not trained enough to follow through a different muscle group. And at times, they don't have work designed in a way that you use different muscle groups while you work. So change of work method or change of work posture is not practiced that much, and less breaks. So these few reasons like static posture, repetition, not taking micro breaks are adding up to those issues. So there is not a single solutions we can give right away, especially with the scope of this webinar. This is a complex situation, so we have to understand what process they follow and the type of method they do, whether there is a scope in between to take a micro break or not. So that has to be all analyzed. But overall, if you ask why a manufacturing industry having the back pain issues, it is mostly because of that repetition, static postures, not taking enough short breaks. So that all together. So we have to really look into the process and be able to suggest what to do. So it may be improvement of the job, it may be improvement of the engineering solutions or adding some engineering solution or some administrative changes. So we cannot right away answer that question, but these are the main reasons behind it. So it is a complex decision to take. It could be in a group, more participatory ergonomics approach. So from management to the worker all together, along with an ergonomist to take a decision what is best for that particular company. So that is overall the situation in manufacturing plant.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, Erin. So in a home setting, do you think those same key factors still would really apply? The repetition, the lack of breaks, the static positions, are those still the same issues in terms of potential for back pain or other types of pain?
Yes. So generally at home or anywhere, as I mentioned, when we talk about ergonomics, we either relate it to stretching or chair, or at times, most of the time we feel these are all industrial things, but everyday life we have issues which we ignore, and we drive long time, we sit in a position for longer, we don't change, because we may not know as much. That's another problem. So yes, most of the time, even at home, it's a combination of what we do in our workplace. When we come back home, we continue doing certain activities which may include same muscle groups and the similar postures. So repetition remains, static posture remains, and lack of shorter micro breaks or stretching. So those are the few combined things which relates to these kind of pain and aches and all. So end of the day, yes, combination of different activities. Also at home, we are doing the same thing repetitively, and maybe we are sitting longer in between work. So actually overwork and in using same muscle group again and again is having behind this kind of issues.
Okay. So for someone who is experiencing pain, when would you suggest that they get help on the ergonomics side?
Yes, so what happens, any pain situation or any musculoskeletal discomfort, or when it is not yet an injury, it's a starting point. So the earlier you refer is better. Generally what happens, any kind of pain, at the beginning it comes and goes. For a few weeks or years, it might be like that, it's coming and going. So if you are in a position to get help, it's better to do during that time. And after a while, this pain remains. So you may observe that at times there's a pain coming and going. Maybe your back pain, I'm just referring to. So some of the months it will be there and it will be faded. So be aware when it comes. If you see that when you sit for a longer time in your office or drive, you're getting such pain, it's better to involve your employer to let know that this is the challenge you are having after work. So that will help even the employer to understand the situation, and as well as it will help you to get help from them, from an ergonomist or whoever the support system is available there. So it makes more sense if you have a pain which is coming and going for a few weeks or months now, you might like to let your employer know that this is the problem you're having, especially after work.
Thank you. So another question from someone who says, my chair's not height adjustable. and my workstation's not at, you talked about belly button height. How
Mhm.
can I adjust my workstation?
Yes, so at home we have the similar situation because at office we have certain supplies of office equipments which is more uh, ergonomic compared to whatever we have available at home. When you don't have a chair which is adjustable enough, as I said, use household items. Like if you're not able to raise your chair up to match your workstation height, you can add a flat pillow on your seat and you can sit on top of that till the time you reach your workstation height at your belly button height. And in that case, if you feel that your feet are not well supported on the ground, you have to use a box or something to keep your feet on. If your feet are dangling during that time, it is not good for your blood circulation on in the legs, and it may increase your back pain. So that way, using a pillow can raise you up in that situation. Use something underneath your feet to get your feet properly supported.
Great. Okay, thank you. Another question from a manufacturing standpoint. In our manufacturing facility, shoulder strain is a big challenge. We do many things to prevent, like stretching, training, and job rotation, but still, with the nature of the job, it still happens. Do you have any tips to add to what we're already doing?
Yeah, it may be to look into where your work surface is. If the worker has to do certain jobs which is above their sh- elbows, standing elbow. I'm not sure if these manufacturing facilities allowing worker to standing or sitting. I cannot see them. However, in the question, it is not mentioned either. But if you have certain situation like this, one is without seeing, we cannot comment on that. But still, with the question related to the question, I can say that maybe the surface height is higher than their sitting or standing elbow height. So they may have to raise their hand a little up. So they have to maintain that posture for some time while doing that repetitively throughout the shift. That may be the reasons behind the shoulder strain or pain. So unless we see the whole setup how it is, it's not right away we can say because of that the problem is happening. That this might be one of the reasons. So yes, changing the work method might be one of the ways, or some engineering changes, or raising the worker up to a certain level if it is safe to do so. So some of those things has to be looked into. Definitely the stretching, I'm not sure if the stretching is done in the morning or evening. So we are referring here to having small micro breaks. So that might help. So there are few points they can look into whether the shoulder strain is happening because of the workers has to work uh, above their elbow height or shoulder height, or how long they are holding that posture, and then if frequent breaks are given, like micro breaks, along with the stretching and other things. So there are a few things, and the work has to be analyzed to see exactly what is the reason behind having this shoulder discomfort.
No, that's really good advice. Thank you.
Mhm.
I think we are, actually one more question coming in. Can sitting cross-legged at your desk pose any ergonomic challenges?
Yeah, it can. Actually, what happens when we sit cross-legged while working, we are actually putting your stress, a whole muscle stress in on another leg, and it hampers your circulation. And in that way, you're not able to take your back support at times while you're sitting on the chair. So it might get extra strain on your lower back as well. So you can have a little bit numbness on your leg, the other one where which one you're using to take all the weight on. And this may eventually lead to some of the musculoskeletal discomforts. So yes, sitting cross-legged might be uh, kind of leading you to some of the MSIs. So it's better to change. If you have that habit grown, try to change and change frequently.
Do you have any suggestions about how to break some of those habits? I know that's one that I have.
Yes, that suggestion would be, that's what I'm saying, every 20 minutes, try to take 20 seconds break so that you don't up, you are not in the same posture for longer. And gradually, it's difficult for first few weeks, but if you practice and if you keep a reminder on your phone or anything, and some of the companies may have some softwares running that every 20 minutes go take breaks. So if you have some of those access, then it's good. If you don't, then put your alarm on every 20 minutes minimum, change or change to other posture if possible. That will help you to reduce this, because if you continue doing that, you may feel that other leg on which you are putting all the weight is having a numbness feeling, and then it adds up to your lower back strain.
Great, thank you. So I think we're at the end of our questions. Thank you, everybody, for your time and for submitting your questions. If we missed yours, please watch for the answers on our COVID-19 FAQ page, or give us a call if you'd like to talk with Ira directly. If you have other health and safety questions, please contact our OHS support line or reach out to us through our website anytime. Again, just thank you for joining us today. Please quickly share your feedback and suggestions in the brief survey that should appear in your inbox in the next short while. We'll soon follow up as well with a wrap-up email that includes a recording of this webinar, links to the slides, and some related resources to help you absorb this a little more and share it with your teams. Please feel free to share all of these, and we hope you'll also follow us on social media for more news, resources, and future events. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you.